Hi gang, Marion back for day 10 of the Costco Wine Adventure Wine Advent Calendar. Today we are going to be trying a Riesling from Bulgaria. Now you'll see I have a bucket here. In that bucket we have our wine. I have this on ice because, like I said, today we are trying a Riesling. I prefer my Rieslings to be very, very cold. Most people do as well. So let me get a little bit closer for you there. So you can see this is from the Danube Plain of Bulgaria, and it's called Timok River. Remember, if you're tasting along, scan the QR code. And if not, we'll drop the website into the description for you to follow along. All right. So let's jump right in. All right. Put that there. Cheers. So let's jump right in. The Danube Plain, it said, is in Bulgaria. This area has very hot summers with lots of sunny days, averaging about 4,000 hours of sunlight a year. Precipitation in this area is about 12 to 24 inches a year, so significantly more than a lot of the other places that we've been talking about. Something very, very interesting about this area is that the soil is made by forest vegetation. It is very fertile and it's a dark soil. The terroir is loamy. Now, loam means a soil that's 40% sand, 40% silt, and a small amount of clay. To give you an idea of where this area is located, it's northern Bulgaria, and it's situated between two rivers, a mountain, and the Black Sea. So we've got the Danube River, the foothills of the Balkan Mountains, the Timok River, and the Black Sea. That's where you're getting your sand and silt from in your soil. Now, this area's principal white wine varietals include Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, and Chardonnay. This area also is known for its ice wines. Once again, we're in Bulgaria. The winters get very, very chilly here. Perfect place to get those very sweet and high residual sugars on ice wines. This area is also basically untouched by infrastructure and the tourism industry. So it's a very quaint and charming place, very untouched by all the go, go, go of our normal world. You can definitely go visit this area, but just note there's not hundreds of wineries like you see in other hotspots, like we talked about in Argentina, in Italy, or even locally here in the States. Like you have the Virginia wine, you've got the Finger Lakes, you've got Napa, you've got Sonoma. It's not like that. It's very, very quiet, not a whole lot going on, but there are more wineries being built. So probably in the next 15 to 20 years, this area will be a big wine hotspot. Let's see. I want to tell you guys that sometimes it's going to be hard to pick up notes on wine. This wine was very difficult for me to smell and to taste. I tried resetting my palate with coffee, my nose with coffee, and I still had trouble smelling this wine. I don't think it has a very strong bouquet. I even asked my husband, he goes, it smells like white grapes. Typical man for you, right? So I want to give you guys a little hint into what I did. So if you smell a wine and you're like, I don't know. Here's a cool thing. There's this book. It's called Taste What You're Missing. It's by Barb Stuckey, and it says The Passionate Eater's Guide to Why Food Tastes Good. Now, in her book, It's really, really cool. She teaches you all about food science, about taste, smell, perceiving food, touching food, anything, like any kind of sensation that you have deals with food, she's talked about. And she's a food scientist, which is really cool. So she does a lot of experiments in here, and she has a lot of at-home experiments for you to try. The one that I specifically picked out is the mouth smelling. So remember, I've told you in earlier videos, you can smell the wine. You can also suck in through your mouth to try to get some essence of the wine. Well, if you're having a really hard time, what I did, you can take plastic wrap, or I have this press and seal here. And you can see I have a little hole poked in the top, and I have a straw. So what you want to do is you actually want to put your saran wrap or your press and seal right on top. Cover the whole glass. Typically, you'd want it to sit for an hour so a lot of the essence of the wine can fill up the space in the glass. I waited maybe 5 minutes. Poked a hole in the top. Take the short end of a straw and stick it in. And what you want to do is breathe in. Don't breathe in. Don't breathe into the cup. Suck the air in the cup in. You're going to get flavors of that wine in the back of your palate. 80% of taste is smell. So when you're sick and your nose is plugged up, you may notice that you can't taste or smell anything. It's because your taste relies heavily on your nose. So once again, take your short end of the straw, stick it in the cup. This really helped to pick up some tropical fruit flavors for me that I could not get just regularly with my nose. And so on the bouquet, after a long time of debating, I finally decided I got tropical fruit, earthy notes, almost like a savory mushroom smell. And it sounds awkward. You're like, ooh, it doesn't smell good. Or that doesn't sound like it smells good. The bouquet on this is very pleasant. It's not nose turning in any way. It's just hard for me to describe it, and those are the cues that I picked up. Now, when I drink this wine, once again, I found it hard to taste this wine as well. I had a Riesling tonight with sushi. It was sweeter than this, had a little bit more flavor going on. I don't know if that's what's the problem for me, but another cool thing that I wanted to introduce to you guys today is to cleanse your palate. So if you've ever been to a wine tasting, you may have seen those little oyster crackers at the bar, or maybe they had pretzels or something that you could grab and just take a bite of while you're tasting. Well, the reason why they do that is because it resets your palate. It helps clear whatever's in there. So if you're drinking white wines and you're going to red, or you're going from red back to sweet white, take a bite. Eat some of those. It's going to reset your palate. It's going to be able to help you pick up some of those notes. I still had a difficult time, but let's go ahead and try it. It's very sweet and sour right off. It's hard for me to swish because it's hitting my tongue and it's like, ooh, it's sour. I get a lot of sour green apple right up front. But then you have the acidity in the wine. So underneath the palate, underneath the entire tongue, I'm getting a lot of mouth-watering sensation. And that's from the acidity of the wine. I almost pick up a slight hint of banana and a light effervescent, like spice kind of dances around on there that you get on that first taste. Let's try another sip. Let's see if we can pick up anything else. You may get like a hint of what they call slate, or maybe like a savory. I get a little bit of a savory. But once again, wine tasting is all subjective. So just because I taste a hint of banana, you may be like, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all subjective. Everybody's taste buds are different, just like your fingerprints. So this type of wine is going to be great with oysters, shellfish, goat cheese. This is also going to be your lunch wine. So if you're going to go have a picnic, bring a bottle of Riesling with you. It's a great choice. It's going to go great with salads, light sandwiches, light snacks. You can do it with a charcuterie board. Just light fare. Be great for a picnic. Now, I want to tell you, I was upstairs, preparing this video, doing my research, and drinking a little bit of this wine. And I kept on getting transported to a place with like a dense forest floor. There's lots of pine cones all around. Dead pine needles in the path in front of me. I look around. There's a long dead tree decaying on the forest floor. Interesting little mushrooms popping out. You can see these little rays of sunshine popping through the forest canopy above. And the light is just dancing on the mushrooms. And it's causing like little fays to dance in the sun from like fairy tales. Just dancing on that decaying wood and those mushrooms. It's absolutely beautiful. There's little shrubs around that are bearing little red berries. I can see a clearing in the distance, and there's a giant rocky hillside just jutting from the green, plainy earth below. And out in the horizon, you can see the hint of a river. You can see some birds flying over the water. It's a very beautiful wine. And I'm interested because I've never had a wine from Bulgaria before. So just because I had a hard time trying this wine, and it's not my favorite. I'm not a big Riesling drinker. I really prefer reds more than whites. I think it's definitely an area that we should keep an eye on. And I think there's a lot of potential there. So I'm definitely going to go out and do my research and see what else I can find from Bulgaria. Sounds like they have some really good reds there as well. And I'd be interested to try an ice wine from there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's go ahead and pop out day 10 together. All right, where are we, day 10? There we are, right there at the top today. So let's get that popped out. There we go. All right, day 10 out of 24. We still have 2 weeks to go, but we are having so much fun. So thank you so much for coming today. I can't wait for tomorrow, another exciting day tomorrow. Cheers to all of you. Have a great night and happy holidays.